All right, I got my footage pulled up. I'm just going to be recapping a day out in Los Angeles, going around taking some photos of some really cool cars. Let's see, what was I doing? That's right. I started off the day super early. I was going to race service. It's one of those places where cars, I feel like they don't really they don't really get built. They get finished, you know? There's a lot of creative minds at play over at race service. I went there to photograph this wide body Formula E car that Liberty Walk revealed. I don't think anyone's ever done a sort of wide body Formula car before. So I think this is not only just a one of one. I think this is like a first of its kind. Like truly, if you don't know, Liberty Walk started in Japan. It was a sort of counterculture brand, not really so much mainstream tuning. Their signature move was cut in factory body panels permanently, and in Japan, modifying cars this aggressively was once considered, I think, pretty borderline rebellious. Liberty Walk treats cars much more as art pieces and less so as investments that you're going to resell at some point. Each kit is designed to exaggerate presence, not so much hide it. They've collaborated with so many different brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Nissan, what else? Toyota, a ton. They've collaborated with so many brands. And it was really cool to see them unveil this work of art that they've been putting together for some time now. They had a couple wide body GTRs outside of race service. They had a couple wide body GTRs inside race service. And a week before this, I was at a meet elsewhere in LA called Sonke Blue, hosted by a now retired police officer. It's really cool. Big car community meet. I love going there. And last time I was there, two of Liberty Walk's GTRs came by. Super, super cool. They both were clearly inspired from the R34 from the second Fast and Furious installment, Too Fast, Too Furious, inspired by Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor, his R34. So that was at Sonke Blue elsewhere in LA, which was just a week before this. It was really cool to see different Liberty Walk GTRs as well. I've never seen a Liberty Walk GTR in my life. So, seeing seeing two in one weekend for my first time ever, and then seeing a bunch more the following weekend, as well as those same two, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool. I think pretty special too. More about Liberty Walk is, their builds are pretty clearly inspired by more like classic race cars. Their philosophy is like cars are meant to be driven, not so much preserved really. I really feel like they help normalize wide body culture worldwide, and then seeing one in person always feels way more extreme than the photos. And now if you don't know what Formula E is, Formula E races entirely electric cars. It's kind of like Formula One, but I think the cars are slightly smaller and they're electric. After I was done shooting at this meet, I made my way over to Long Beach. So I was going from like pretty core middle of Los Angeles, like mid LA, mid Wilshire, mid LA sort of area, down to Long Beach for the Garage Life car meet, which was also a toy drive. It was a ton of fun. There were so many amazing builds there. It was kind of like a post SEMA is really what it was. And if you don't know what SEMA is, it's basically just like the biggest car show in the world. And it happens in Las Vegas every year, I think every November. A lot of people build cars specifically for this SEMA event that happens every November. But once SEMA is over, once the show is over, what do you do now? So this is one of the things some of the owners, at least in Southern California, do. They might come to a meet like Garage Life in Long Beach. It was really interesting. I, of course, have a 370Z, which I am filming right next to or behind of. Yeah, but there's this 400Z that was at the meet that I've been keeping up with for some time now. It was really cool. The owner, Melanie, asked her about the beautiful light blue Z she has. She's got a Cole Racing body kit on it. I was actually looking into that a couple years ago. Cole Racing. It focuses on precision design, not so much aggression. And many of their body kits are inspired by Japanese motorsport aesthetics. Their styling tends to feel, I think, more futuristic without feeling too cartoonish and like overly wide. I think you might even mistake it for just like a normal car. You might not realize it is a wide body, which is pretty cool. And then the Nissan Z, 400Z, whatever you want to call it. Let's take a look. I think it carries a lot of DNA from the Z before it. I think a lot of other Z owners would agree. I have a 370. The next one, the 400 or just the Z, is very similar. There are a few different R35 GTRs as well. I miss the GTR so much. These cars were built with the philosophy of accessible supercar performance. Each engine is hand assembled by a technician, which I believe are called takumi, which I believe translates to master craftsman in Japanese. It's been a while since I've looked this up. And they advertise that there's only 4 or 5 of them, something like that. But I think in total, were more like 10, 11, or 12 master craftsmen over the course of the R35's production. I know because I've looked them all up before. The R35, of course, nicknamed Godzilla, but that sort of stems from the GTRs that came before, the 34, 33, 32. maybe even the 31 and 30. I'm actually not sure when Godzilla got thrown in, but everyone knows Godzilla. What else was here? Oh, check this out. Okay, we got some R34s I filmed as well. These became, pretty legendary after production ended. The digital dash was ahead of its time, and I feel like it represents analog meets digital performance. These cars, of course, were popularized by Fast and Furious quite a bit. I think there's a GTR in every movie, and maybe even an R34 in every movie. Definitely a GTR in every movie. There's also this really cool yellow, older Honda Civic hatchback, lightweight, reliable. These cars definitely helped build modern tuner culture worldwide. And it was next to this yellow Acura NSX, which was co-developed with the famous race car driver Ayrton Senna, famous F1 driver. Honda / Acura would fly NSXs out to Europe or wherever, whatever circuit he was at, driving his he was driving his Formula One car. And in between races and stuff, on an off day, they would have him test the NSX. So he would be dressed up in like his weekend clothes, and he would hop in the NSX and go around the racetrack driving it. I mean, there's videos of it online. He's wearing like loafers and stuff. He is super casual, and he's just absolutely doing pedal to the metal in these NSXs on these F1 tracks. It's very cool. There's also this sweet Mazda RX-7 FD. It uses a rotary engine, which everyone knows is nicknamed the sort of Dorito chip engine because the engine looks like a Dorito chip, like a little triangle that spins around instead of like cylinders that move back and forth. It's compact, smooth, and unique. It also sounds very cool. There are a few Nissan 370Zs there, mine being one of them, and then my friend Henry's was another. It feels great to drive. It's so compact and fun, and I really like that it's part of a lineage that spans over 50 years. There's also this really interesting GTR I saw there, the beautiful wrap and wide body that had a Korean flag on one side of the GT wing and an American flag on the other side. I believe it's owned by Silhouette GTR on Instagram. I'm guessing he is probably Korean American, and I think it's really cool that he has like pride in both roots, and he's got like both flags on his spoiler. I just think that's awesome, and I've never seen that before. Overall, it was really nice to photograph so many cool cars here, as well as the Liberty Walk meet at race service that happened earlier. That's all the footage I got. Leave a comment of your thoughts. What did you think? Did you have a favorite car? Did any of them stand out to you? Were you expecting to see a car and you didn't see one? Or what did you think of the Liberty Walk Formula E car? Let me know your thoughts. That would be great. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.